What is up, everybody? You know what it is. X on the beach. It is the finale. We made it. So the final crush ceremony happens. Some people end up getting brokenhearted, and Marie still finds her way on the episode. Let's go. Let's get it.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, Buzz.
Hey.
Yo, are we still missing something?
Shut up.
I wasn't even gonna say it because
I wasn't here last week. I don't know if
oh, okay, you can bring that. She said I'm over it.
I don't know if it was addressed, but I just wanted to,
Oh, it was definitely addressed. It's been addressed.
It's been addressed every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I love your music, girl.
I mean, I'm just saying, we just want something. Maybe reunion. I don't know.
She said next season.
The next season. There we go. Next season.
Can we start it fresh?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lem Gonzalez here. X on the beach. You know what it is. It is a finale. And we are here and we are excited and we're going to talk all about it. You see me kind of by myself. Sinse is in the building. She's right next to me. Sinse, talk to the people.
Oh my gosh, Lem, you're so intense tonight.
She's aggressive.
My feels have been all in the fields tonight. This finale, had me like tearing up and shit. Y'all already know I'm an emotional type of bitch. Okay, so there was waterworks tonight because I was feeling all the love. I want people to win, love win. Love wins, people.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm done.
Wins all the time.
Yeah.
Messy Melody is not here. No. All the sads. No mess tonight. Sinse will hold it down for you.
Yes.
She'll pick up the slack. But my A1 since day one is here. The Filipino King, Nino and Araina in the building.
What's up, y'all? I am back. I am sorry I missed you last week, but I'm here and, ready to spill a little bit of the tea. I don't know how much we can say, but, we could definitely talk about what went down tonight, right?
We're going to squeeze it all as much as we can out.
Squeeze it all.
We're going to squeeze it out. Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of spilling tea, we got to have guests, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's guest time. It's guest time. It's guest time. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do it. We always keep the guests on lock. They are no stranger to AfterBuzz TV. Our first guest, she found some love at the end of the episode. And I want to talk to her about it. And I'm so glad that she's here. Ariana's in the building. What's up, girl? Yes.
They're like, which one you talking about?
Yeah.
We both found.
I know, right? You're like, and y'all look like twins,
Yeah,
by the way.
Happy ending.
Yeah, even to the shoes, y'all killing me right now.
No.
Yeah, y'all killing me.
I texted
Y'all
her, said,
killing
what are you
me.
wearing? She said, something cute.
Something cute. I love it. Let's give another drum roll. This is OG status right here. She's been holding it down with us since Are You the One? I always love when she comes on the show because she always tells me something that I wasn't expecting. Shannon's in the building, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
What's up, Shannon?
I can't tell anybody else. Otherwise, I'm going to get sued.
Yeah. We don't want anybody to get sued.
Right.
All right, so... Since you kind of talked a little about it, but what was your overall consensus about this finale episode?
It really, a lot of people won me over this episode. Like a lot of relationships won me over this episode.
Just say it.
I mean,
say
Devin.
There we go.
It came full circle, okay? All I'm going to say, though, is that
okay.
Bring it back real quick.
Right.
if he would have gave me what he gave me this episode, I think
for the entire
everyone
season
would have loved this side of him. It's like we get this. I mean, he explained it. You know, he said why he comes off with all these different comments and everything like that. And man, we need to see more of this realness, Devin, because that's the thing about me. I can peep if you fake as hell, right off the bat. So it's like I felt it so much. It was just show. And tonight we got real. So I'm messing with it. I love it. I'm here for Devin and Shannon. They give me so much vibes and love. And I'm here for it.
Okay.
And Michi came through with the Cinderella story, saving, Ariana from Kansas. You know what I'm saying? Someone had to scoop her up.
Knight in shining armor.
He's seeing the wifey material.
Right.
Do his thing and not really know what was up in the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All the things. All the things.
Right.
So,
All the
you know,
things.
I was here for this like Cinderella love story.
Okay.
You know, with Michi picking her and not
Okay.
Danielle.
These hands, though.
You know,
Yeah.
the
Hands
underdog
just-
always wins. I'm here
go.
for it.
Okay.
And yeah, you know, and then, you know, we have Tevin
You
and
just gonna
Kenya.
go all the way.
Show?
I just wanted to know your overall
All right,
thoughts.
sorry.
It's all good.
You're just gonna do the whole show.
You know,
wait.
do you have anything?
I mean,
There's really nothing left.
I mean, what she said?
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, like, I enjoyed it. I think it was predictable the way it came out in some sorts.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
there were
Absolutely.
definitely some like, oh, that happened. But,
Right.
like, nonetheless, I'm happy because I want people to be happy. You know, what's happened after the fact, because the reunion is next week, I wonder, I want to know, because I feel like there's some missing holes in social media and people want to know, people see things.
Right.
I just can't wait to get down to it.
Sure, sure, absolutely.
Yes.
I would say
Right?
for me, I there was definitely some things that were anticlimactic, like in the sense of some of the couples
what?
that climactic.
That's a great word.
Right.
So dead.
Climantic. Wait, what? Climantic?
Anticlimactic.
Climactic.
Climatic.
Like climax.
Yeah,
climatic.
climax.
I
Yeah.
love a good climax.
Yeah.
You do.
All right. So as I was saying, with some of the couples, I
Okay.
felt like, oh, okay, I expected that to happen. I expected when Billy, extended the
To
change
both
to
of
both of them
them.
that they were both going to take it, things of that nature.
Is
So
that fair though?
So you said
Yeah.
it was real predictable?
there were parts of it. I do agree that the Devin thing shook me. Not
me.
not because
I'm sure it did.
he
We
picked
I was
you.
like, wait, hold on. I
Like-
was all
like,
laughing,
yeah,
and
not
all of a
be-
sudden I
not-
look over and I'm like,
Yeah,
"You're-"
not because he picked you per se, but just how he came out of his shell and was truthful, like
just what I
and
do.
kind of whoa, hey, there it is.
Oh, wow.
That's what I do. So I feel you on that. I feel you on the Devin situation. I was interested to see how the Aubrey situation was going to work, because obviously that was a huge thing, for the majority part of the
Right.
season. And so kind of seeing how that worked out. I did not know exactly how, but the way it worked out, I was like, all right, I see that. I feel that. I'm with that. So yeah, that was it. But I really want to talk to our guests and really find out, because you all were there. And
Right.
I want to start with you, Shannon, because when you started seeing Devin, I did not see it. At first I was like, that isn't
me either.
from
Nobody did.
and that
Well, you know
like
what?
nobody
So,
did.
like, fun fact, on the very first day that I showed up, obviously everyone saw me staring at Michi in the beach. But when I got into the house, I actually went up to Devin and I said, I think you're the most attractive guy in the house. And he was pretty much telling me, you're here for revenge. I don't want to be collateral damage, pretty much. And I don't fuck with that. So I said, okay, I'm friend zoned, bye. And then I just, at that point, I would just talk to him as a friend. And he was just someone that because he was really good friends with Anthony as well. So it was, he just said what was real. He would tell me when I was acting up, when I was being crazy. He just was a friend. And so then that's when I was like, okay, you're hot and you're telling me that I'm crazy. So
I mean,
I like you.
So match made in heaven,
what?
basically.
yeah, I mean,
No.
was Marie ever in the situation though from the beginning, like when you told him like he was cute and
No,
like did
so
you and
the
Marie
very
ever
first
get
day she wasn't
close,
even-
or like what's
the
that?
first day, she was not even there. So when she got into the house, I was with Anthony. I was all about Anthony. The scene that was by the pool was I wouldn't say a staged scene, but it was, hey, Shannon, can you go over there and talk to Marie? I didn't say, hey, Marie, let's have a conversation.
Right,
sure.
And that's how, and so it kind of gets played the two sides where I was her friend and all this stuff. And then it started becoming, I was going after her man, and that was never the case. I had a crush from afar, and I respected their relationship. And then it got to a point where they don't show her yelling at me. They don't show her yelling at him. They just didn't show her being mean. And everybody in the house was sick of it. Everybody was like, well, why are you came here to move on from your ex, and this is the game. This is the name of the game. You're trying to find your next. And
Right.
he made it very clear to the house that he didn't want to pursue anything with her. And then she just was And at that point, she was just mean, and I just didn't think that I owed it to her.
Okay, so I was about to ask, her being sensitive and how she is, like, did you feel
sensitive.
like you needed to, like, talk to her before you moved in on Devin?
I think I should have gone about it a little bit differently. I think I could have had a more girl-to-girl conversation, but I think at that point, she was just, they don't show her being mean. They don't show her yelling at me. They don't show her just, like, cursing. They just see me going into it. And there were multiple times where I would have conversations with Devin saying, what's going on that we don't see? And he said, well, I'll go in front of the whole house and tell it how it is. And he did that.
Yeah.
He said, I don't see anything with her. Vote me out if you can vote out a single. And so they don't show things like that. And,
Right.
People want to play. There's 3 sides to this one. His side, her side, my side.
Well, what would you guys have done in that situation if you weren't, you're a contestant, or you're there, and there's somebody there that you don't really know, but you're trying to go for the ex? Would you even, if you didn't have mutual feelings as friends for them, would you even talk to them, or would you just go into the situation? Did she have to really talk to Marie?
I mean, you're living in a house with these people. I mean,
Like courtesy,
I just think it's courtesy. Like, hey, you know what? Like, I know you're not gonna feel it, but like, I'm gonna just let you know right now.
I mean, I didn't feel a
But
lot
at
of
the
people
same
go.
time,
I'm
my
gonna
thing
say
is
the second episode. Like, the thing is, I'll never go for the girl. I won't attack the girl. I've learned not to do that.
Well, not attack, but just like a heads up. Like, like, hey, like, I know we're living in this house. Like, I kind of want to be calm before the storm. Like, I don't want there to be a storm.
There was no calm before the storm. It was just a storm.
I think.
Do you think it would have been more calm if you would have said something to her, maybe? Or do you think it would have been the same outcome?
The same thing. What were you gonna say, Ariana?
Well, the whole show's about like finding your next in this house full of exes, and you kind of like, are you the one? People can't get mad if other people are trying to talk to find your match.
Because
Here,
that's the premise
we're
of the show.
trying to move on, and obviously, if we're exes, then there must have been something. And if I see something good in someone else, then I should go for it. That's the whole reason we're there, and we're there to figure out if our ex is getting in the way for next. I think there could have been conversations, but like there was also like Gillette went for Anthony. That's her ex too. Like there's different situations. It's just in this specific case, Marie felt strongly for Devin, but from an outsider looking in, what we saw, Devin had like made it pretty clear that like things when they started going for it, that things were over between him and Marie.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would have done the same thing. Like if the ex said, yeah, I'm good, I don't want to pursue that. Right. I feel like that's open. That's game. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and I think the thing with this show, and you mentioned RU1 as well, and you've been on that show. It puts you. The whole premise of the show is you're supposed to, find your perfect match. And Are You the One? In this, you're supposed to find your next. So it's kind of the same general philosophy. But the reason why this show is dramatic is because you're not over that person. Right. So then you're feeling some kind of way because it's all happening in front of you.
Yeah, of course.
In real life,
vice versa. If that happened to me, I would be upset. There's no doubt. I'll never invalidate how she feels about that at all, because if I saw that with Anthony, I probably would have freaked out. But then again, I saw him get his dick sucked, and honestly, I just got my revenge after that. I didn't react to him. I didn't react to her. I just said...
Forgot about that part.
So I'm just going to say, I just moved on trying to find my next. Sure. And so I saw the same thing happen to me, But...
I like how you said earlier that there's 3 parts, your part, her part, his part, or whatnot.
And the truth.
And
production.
And the non-edit.
And the stuff
edit.
that lies like somewhere in the middle or whatnot. And I want people to remember that, especially all the fans out there that watch. That's why we try to bring people in to let them know their truth and whatnot. There's always a lot of he say on Twitter. If you've noticed the past couple weeks, especially this season or whatnot.
Well, and this always happens with these type of shows because everybody feels like they don't get the edit doesn't favor them, so they're like, wait a second. That's not how it happened. I really feel like this, or da-da-da-da. So we understand that. But yes, the fans understand. And this is a microcosm of the real world. You wouldn't be hanging out with your ex or sleeping next to your ex in the real world. You would not be next to them.
Well, I mean, Ariana might.
Dang!
Why you have to throw me under the bus like that?
Girl, it's out there.
I mean, well...
She had like a little smile when you were saying that.
It's like, dang.
Come for me.
speaking of Ariana,
Yes,
moving
switch it
on.
up.
Yeah. So
Story.
yeah.
Your turn.
So we see that this whole situation with Michi, you started getting next to Michi after you were kind of off of Cameron and moving on to that, but then he had two, beautiful exes that came in and
Yeah.
kind of it made things a little different.
Yeah.
It kind of messed things up. Did you feel any way? I know he was kind of off, old girl, but he was really feeling the one that Danielle. Thank you.
She was like, no,
Sorry.
But he really wasn't though.
Well, when I say he was really feeling, correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember, when he said that she was going to come, he was going to try to talk
Correct.
to her.
Until he started feeling her.
Okay, so, but I'm going by that energy,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So giving that energy.
Yes.
And then it's different when, oh yeah, girl, I'm good with you. But then when they show up, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Hold on. So what was your situation in that?
So I kind of felt like I had walked out of a triangle and into another one. With Callie, when she came, there was really not much there between them, the two of them. There was kind of just like there's some things they didn't show. Like one, she was really upset in the beginning because I think she did come in with intentions to work things out with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would like ask him to sleep in the bed with me, and like there was one night where she like got really upset, so he had to leave, and like so those feelings I guess started to fizzle out, especially when Danielle came, and I think he expected, instead of the heat being on him, they would fight each other, and he could like pit them against each other, and it'd be like, that's not what he told me type situation, but they became friends. So then it became like the two of them against sort of me. Like they would I would walk in a room and it'd be quiet. I'd be like, I'm being so nice to you girls. Like I understand you guys have things to figure out. I wish I would have had time to figure things out with Cameron before he had to be like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I tried to be really nice to them in that situation, and I mean it was just difficult to walk back into that situation when I was like, okay, what if, this is what I kept telling her, I was like, but what if he's the one? Like hopeless romantic. It was like, but what if I just waited out the rest of the summer and this is what it's supposed to be? Maybe he is like my
the one that saves her
from my knight in shining armor, like so that was what kept me like going. And there was always like, he did a really good job at juggling us. Like he would go talk to her, let me come talk to me.
The amount of times I saw Michi going in a corner kissing Danielle.
Oh, so that wasn't the first time.
That was not the first time. Mm-mm.
And I never saw it.
And I'll go up to her and I'm like,
You never saw it?
You need to talk about that because the edit makes it look like you were flicking
makes it look.
him
So
off.
I'm actually flicking off Cameron.
Talk
Oh,
about
really?
it. There
Okay,
you go.
so after the truth ceremony, Michi comes up to me and is basically like, how could you say you're in love with Cameron? And I was like, bro, like I've said that at every crush ceremony. Like I've never hid that from you. And he's like, I just don't know how I feel about this. Like I don't know how this. I don't even know what you want.
Which is valid.
Yeah, but it's like you've known that this whole time. I've said it every single day that's and that if you're like an adult, you know that like when you love somebody, it doesn't just fall off of you. Like it's not like luggage. You can't just take it off.
Right.
So he was
with
just
the lid.
he was like, I just don't know if I can deal with this. This is just all too much for me. I'm over it. And then I'm assuming that's when he went to go like kiss on Danielle. So I was really upset about the situation, and I was upset that he just said I'm over it and didn't like, validate my feelings at all. And then Cam, I guess producers sent Cam to come console me, which is the worst thing ever.
Cam to console you?
Yes,
Yeah.
they kept doing that in the house. A lot of those conversations we kept having are because they were like, go talk to her.
Go talk.
And he doesn't want to come console me about the new guy, you know?
Right.
So
Because
like,
he's just going to be,
yeah.
he's just going to say how he feels.
Yes,
Right.
and he's never the type
There was
to like
no
hide.
consoling because he was trying to.
No, he was just. It was just like yelling, and like we got into it, and so like I think I'm coming up the stairs and I'm flipping off because he said
Right.
something rude to me. Never saw them kiss. I would have never came back the next day like, yes.
Because that didn't make sense. I'm like, wait.
That
Right.
makes no sense. Like
So
no.
you were flicking off Cameron in a whole nother situation
Yes.
that wasn't even filmed.
Yeah.
So that flick off was not for.
It was not for Michi, and I had heard rumors about him and Danielle like kissing, hooking
She
up.
didn't even know. She didn't. I don't think you've ever seen it.
I never saw. I saw one time he like rubbed her booty, and like he didn't know I was watching from the window above.
I was always like, he's kissing her,
Yeah.
and then
And-
she just.
Yeah. The other
Never
thing
saw it.
was I've like told. So he was so back and forth because like Danielle would like she would like apparently, like, someone would be like, oh, Danielle just kissed him. She would come in the room. She'd be like, yeah, I kissed him. I did it for camera time. Or I did it for my Insta followers or whatever. And I'd be like, wow, it's fucked up because this is the guy I really like. You know, like, I'm trying to make things work. So, like, I told him about the situation. He's like, fuck her, done with her. And it was just like, he would do those things, be like, it's all about us. Then the next day, I got to hear her out. And it's like, what? Like, it was, I felt like I was dealing with Cameron all over again. And so if I would have known all of the whole entirety of the situation, I would have not accepted the crush.
So, I mean, obviously, you can't say what's going on, the situation between you and Michi at the moment. At that point in time when you left the house, how ecstatic were you that you were with him?
I was very happy. I like everything he said, you know, it's like everything a girl ever wants to hear, you know, like he scripted that very well. I'm kidding. He just said all the right things.
Alluding.
Well, one thing that grabbed me when I was watching it is you had mentioned that he had said that you were a queen, and you had not got that before.
Yeah.
And I just was like, who are you dealing with? That is, like, I just got upset for a second because I'm like, first of all, any man that cares about you should call you a queen.
Yeah, it's this thing that me and Cam used to joke about, like, people who call it, like, oh, that's my king, or like that's whatever. I think it's a little bit much when you're like hang out with your friend and like, oh, my king is coming. Like, that's just a lot. But I had never been referred to because we always just made fun of people that way. But like the way he would say it, or like, you know, just certain situations, certain people, I was like, oh, that's really nice to be looked at like that, you know. At times Cam would look at me kind of like a homeboy, so I feel like I lost a little bit of that femininity.
And that's why you should be called that, because he probably was joking because he didn't want to tell nobody that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you deserve to be called a queen.
Can I point out something that I really liked at the crush ceremony? Kind of when you and your Ariana.
Alexis.
When you and her had that moment, because I mean, either if it's you or her, like, there's hate somehow, some way deep down with both of you, you know? And the fact that you guys kind of got to talk about everything, like, was that like a sincere moment, fake? And how do you feel about her now?
So in that moment, I feel like it was pretty sincere. I feel like, you know, she was very happy with the fact that I like was not attached to Cameron anymore. You know, when the show started up and, like, you know, people post little tweets, people say little things, and, you know, we've gotten into it on social media, or like, and we've sat down and talked in person recently.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just like went to Starbucks and like hashed everything out. Wow. And, you know, just literally told like, you know, like, so there's no more like, oh, what he said. It's the two of us, you know. I can show you my receipts, you show me yours, you know. And so that was good. And now we're at a place where we have an understanding with each other. We don't, like, I don't bash her, she doesn't bash me. If she does say something, I told her I'm going to serve her with the same energy she's serving me. And, you know, even last week we kind of had like a little bit of like, I said something and she was like, why would you say that? And I said, it's because something you said a couple days ago, watch what you say, you know. And she was like, I didn't think of it like that. And I was like, it's cool. Now we both like have talked it out. I'll come to you now before I post something petty and see what you meant by that. So we're at a mature understanding with each other.
Was it the hoodie, when she was wearing that hoodie?
No.
Your man's sweatshirt?
Oh, I don't know.
You didn't
I don't follow her.
You're messy.
I didn't
Messy
see
Melody.
that.
It's the seat, y'all.
I didn't see it.
She's holding it down.
No, it was something under the X on the beach. She was like, no sane person would walk out of a love triangle and get into another. Said no one ever. And then her and Danielle are like besties, and so they like loved to like, you know, hop on me on that. And so I was like, what's up, yo? Like, we've talked, and Danielle at the reunion, we saw each other, so like we could like talk everything out. Yeah.
Right.
And you know, and she was just like, I told her this. I was like, I feel like you have like a sense of like, because you're nice, you don't think you can be nasty, but you are sometimes. And just like check that when you talk to me, because I'm gonna take anything you say, even the slightest bit of
Everybody has a form of sassiness.
Yeah, a form of sassiness. I'm just gonna take it the wrong way because we have our history and there's still open wounds.
Sure,
yeah, 100%.
That's a dope teachable moment, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? For y'all to sit down and actually talk and kind of like go back and forth with like, this is what I mean. Keeping that communication situation open.
Yeah.
because there's just.
I
so
mean, at
much
this point,
shit
you
going
might
on,
as well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For
There's
sure.
been too many secrets up in this bitch.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just really helps everybody.
You know?
I'm sure.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
Twitter, you could be saying something totally off.
Yeah.
Secrets on the
Topic.
beach.
Yeah, I could be
Right.
talking
Okay.
about my coworker, and she
Straight
feels
up.
like I'm talking about her. So it's
Exactly.
very, yeah.
Everyone thinks something's a subtweet.
Right.
Sometimes it's not.
It is. Sometimes
Sometimes.
it's just a general tweet, and
Right.
I just want to feel validation and knowing that I was.
Like, I want someone to retweet
Yes,
me.
yes,
Yeah.
that was good.
Exactly, yeah.
That was
That's it.
good.
That's it.
But that's
Random
it. I
thought
don't.
about my
Right,
breakfast.
right.
Not about a relationship.
Yeah.
I want to get into some of these other couples. Obviously, when we got to the crush ceremony,
Yes.
Kenya goes first. She says she wants to spend the rest of her life with Devin. I was like, whoa.
Not until they're in the 30s. I told you.
Right.
10 years from now, they'll be together.
Right.
This is my.
But at that point, she was like, they were in love. And so I was like, okay. We see Lexi and Allie next. Of course, Lexi, she goes with Max. I didn't think there was anything,
Right.
Her
interesting
sister
with that.
comes too.
They are mom and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
they are
love
the king
Lexi
and
and
the
Max.
queen.
Really?
And they are
They're
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love them.
She's like, they're amazing.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
and
shout out to the twins. They were here last
we
week.
haven't hung out in a long time.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
Yeah, they were here last week. So Billy's up, and we had known that he wanted to kind of have Tyler and Emily. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I just have a question for you.
Right, we had known that he wanted to have
Wait, are these
Tyler.
for Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I didn't say anything.
Oh.
Girl, we saw it all in your face. You ain't
I
got
know.
to
Doesn't mean I said it.
So he wants he made it known early
like he'll know I'm
that he
blocked.
wants to he wants Tyler and Emily to be in this
Yeah,
polyamorous
What is
or
it? What is it?
polyfabulous.
What is it?
Polyglamorous.
Polyglamorous, that's right.
Yeah.
Situation. Watch out. And so
friends.
he comes up and he's Tyler and we saw Emily. From what we saw, she was not really about that. She was like, she just kind of wanted to be with Billy.
And he
She
wasn't
didn't want to
about it
be with
either at
Billy.
that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Tyler was just kind of like, whatever. But Emily was kind of staunch about like, yo, I would just want to be with you. I don't feel comfortable with this. But when it came down to the ceremony, hey, I want both of you. And I'm thinking Emily's going to be like, nah, I'm good.
She was
and
Right.
she was with it.
She was with it.
Yeah.
So
She said as long as she the only girl.
yeah, okay.
But she wants to be the only one too. So
Right.
it's not gonna work out.
There's just a lot of
It's
love
a-
triangles.
it's a
in
lot
the
of love
house,
triangles.
There was a lot of love triangles in
and
the
it's
house.
like, and it's all from what I've noticed. It's just case by case scenario. It's people are okay with this situation, but they're not okay with that
If
situation.
it's how open you are,
And
da, da,
it's-
da,
Oh.
you know, like it's for me personally, like their relationship. I feel like Emily for sure was like willing to settle for
Right.
whatever situation she got out of there as long as she got
Because she
Billy.
cared about Billy. Yeah.
And I feel like my question through the whole thing was, so if they're both dating you, can they date other people? Like, because I feel like that's kind of why it
Isn't
seemed
that
like
polyglamorous.
well,
I mean,
no, he
polyamorous?
said he wanted them exclusive.
Well, yeah, he said that, which doesn't make sense. He's like,
Yeah,
I want to
'Cause
be
that's
exclusive
exactly,
with you,
and
then
that's
I want
when
to be
I
exclusive with
tweeted.
you.
I said that's not what I was like. I said I love you, Billy, but that's not what exclusive means.
Right.
To be exclusive is to just be with that one person.
Unless
Sure.
all three of them want
Or
to be
be
exclusive
exclusive to-
together.
Yeah.
So does that mean
that's-
Tyler? So what? Can Tyler and Emily?
That was what.
they don't
what
want
No, but
to.
like they all just agree we're all three exclusive. Like I know you fucking with him, and I know she fucking.
The only
with
one
you,
winning
and,
in that
like,
situation
we're all
is
just gonna
Billy.
know.
Right.
like
But
that's.
if they down with it, they down with it. There's really relationships out here, y'all.
I know.
Well, yes,
there
there
are.
are.
You
There are
got-
marriages
and
like
there-
that too.
yeah.
There's
But
singers.
most of the polyamorous relationships I know, it's usually they're dating three people, they're dating three people, and they're dating.
Oh, so they all three
They're
have-
usually they're all.
all
have
have
side
someone.
people.
Yeah, they all have
Right.
side people, and that's why I was like, that's unfair. And I
that's
think
a
that's
lot
kind
of
of why
people.
Tyler was okay with the situation because I feel like in the back of his head, Tyler's like, I'm gonna have mine.
Yeah, Tyler said no.
And I think Emily was like, no, this is us.
Right.
It was just
Right.
I mean, like,
Okay,
look,
so it
Billy.
wasn't-
Either way,
like-
they both deserve better.
They
like,
do.
Billy was open and he was like, "This is what I want," and
Right.
like for us to see them not want it, then all of a sudden at the end, them come and say, "It's fine, let's go ahead and do it." I'm like, what happened in between?
Well, see, that's
that
what I was like, yo, because
time?
I could tell Emily was not really about it.
Right.
She
You
didn't
could
want
tell in
that.
her face.
Yeah, she didn't want
Yeah.
that. I was just surprised that she agreed to it. That was all. We do see Celeste. I love Romeo. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
When she's coming down. And I want to get from you because obviously you were in the house with Anthony, and I got it that when she was just like, kind of talking to him, and she's just like, yeah, but I really want to. And she even said, I was going to come here and I was going to give it to myself and women empowerment.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just, like, I'll change for you. Whatever you want, I'm going to do for you.
He stepped it up.
And I think, okay, he stepped it up, his words. But my thing is, do you think, I'm posing it to all of you, do you think he was saying that just so she would be with him without the real intentions behind it?
I don't think so
Because
Okay.
he was honest with like the questions when he was like, I don't know if I could be. Is it what is
Yeah. He just said he could
Monogamous.
try.
He was always open with her and what he wanted. And,
Yeah.
and so
That's why I believed it.
I don't
Yeah,
think he would
I-
have forced it.
I think
he
he's
meant
Okay.
it.
yeah. I think he's
So
a good
you-
guy. I think he just like he was surrounded by beautiful girls too in
Yeah.
the house for a whole
Right.
summer and didn't like go for anybody but
Yeah, he
her
stuck with
and
her.
stuck at her side at like 24/7. They were
And they were
attached to the
cute.
hip.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think like the way he was thinking it was because it was going to be hard after the show because they don't live in the same state,
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like to him he had to be honest. Like I don't know if I can do monogamy, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
'cause he's here in
try.
Cali, right? And she's
No, he's
in
in
Texas.
Chicago. She's in Florida.
or
Texas.
Arizona,
Texas.
or Texas.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
One of
So
them.
and that's good. I mean, if that's the case, then I think that's great because I think Gillette deserves a
Gillette
good
deserves
person.
all the love in the
Gillette
world.
Yeah.
deserves everything that is
Yeah.
coming good for
They
her.
were super cute.
Yes, they were.
Very
That's why I wanted to kind of pose that because it seemed like it could have gone either way. It could have been he was being genuine and he was trying to step up for her, or he was just telling her what she wanted to hear.
Right.
And so I was hoping it
Genuine.
wasn't
Yeah.
genuine.
It
Okay,
also,
boom.
it actually threw me when she was like, I was about to choose myself. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I thought she was gonna choose him like off the
Automatic.
bat.
Oh,
Yeah.
like off the rip.
Yeah.
Period. Well, I think she probably was saying that because if he was sticking to the like, I don't know if I can be monogamous
Exactly.
thing, then I don't want to
Yeah.
put myself in that
Yeah.
situation to get hurt.
yeah, she for sure has like knows what she wants and what she
Right.
wants in a relationship.
Of course. Of course.
Sweetie.
Shannon, I gotta ask you about this because I thought it was super cute when you were talking about Devin and you're like, and we've talked, and I know that you put the quarters and the
Oh,
meters
God.
and for people, and I'm like, what is she talking?
Okay.
Real
I was
cheesy.
like, wait, what? It's like, hold on, I gotta talk to you about this. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so it was the day of the lie detector test, and so everybody was just going down there individually, and I said, let's just hang out, just us two, let's just talk. So we laid in bed, and I said to him, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? I just want to know what's your real life. And so he pretty much told me Monday through Friday, Saturday I watch football, this and that. He told me a whole schedule.
Yeah.
I go get prime rib, this and that. And I'm like, okay. And then on Saturdays, he walks down just the streets, and he always carries quarters on Saturdays and just puts a quarter in each meter just so each person just gets a few more
Like 15 more
Randomly
minutes.
really nice.
And
I would appreciate that.
yeah, could you
LA and do
You're
that.
right, you're right.
Can you imagine like just walking like you have you see someone with a red meter, you don't
Yeah.
think to put money in
Right.
their meter, you just
He
you're
rich.
like whatever, and so he puts it, and so I was so like that.
You thought that was very thoughtful
was
that
so
he did that.
Well, yeah, because that was the day he really was. I mean, he opened up about a few things, but that was I got more out of him in that day, and I said, okay, like I feel you, like you're sweet, and you're not just a funny guy. You're a sweet,
Right.
thoughtful, and you're very kind, and so
He's a meter fairy.
Sold
y'all.
out. Right.
I'm like,
The meter hero.
Do you
Did
want to
y'all
know
know
how
that-
many parking tickets I've gotten?
Y'all know that it's
Where were
illegal here to
you?
do that?
No.
Yeah.
To put money in someone else's
I
meter.
think that's the dumbest law ever. That it's illegal. Like if you're just going around putting extra money in people's meters, it's illegal.
to
And
do
I was
It's
that.
like,
illegal?
why?
Oh my God, he does not do that.
That's I mean New
Wait,
York,
seriously?
whatever.
But that's here.
That's
here.
dumb.
Yeah,
That's
is dumb.
here?
That
I
is
would
dumb.
appreciate
Wait,
that if someone.
seriously?
Yeah,
But what if
so
someone
dumb.
doesn't know? Okay, what
It's so
parking
dumb.
officer is sitting there?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be
crazy.
illegal, but is somebody really going to be ticketed
Right.
for
And
that?
Not every
Like,
good enough that ain't your car.
exactly.
That's my
I
car.
think
What?
it's I
Yes,
think
that's
it's
Oh my
did.
god.
That's like
everybody
the
just wants that
dumbest
way.
law
It is
ever.
kind of dumb. It is
But I
kind of dumb.
appreciate Devin's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really.
Well, one thing that
So
I
you-
did see is that he did get very emotional, and I felt like all of that, like none of that was game.
Yeah,
I felt
no.
like that was all
I felt
genuine
it.
because there was no point to be game.
She
Like,
felt it.
You felt it.
She was my number one fan
was
back
like,
there.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, she's class.
Yeah.
I know.
Because like
I was-
before we go out there, we were all in a holding car, which like all the exes, because we were, sent away.
Right.
And we're just sitting there like, do you think he's gonna do you think we're gonna, and we were like,
yeah, we were both like,
at the end of it, bitch, we just go ride together.
It's cool. We got each
we have to
other.
leave single, it's okay, we got each other.
Because honestly, we went through such a similar journey, and I think that's why we vibe so well. We kind of were in like toxic relationships, and then we saw a silver lining, and we just were spoken to with such kindness, and it was just sweet, and we saw it with one another, so we were rooting each other on like constantly. And I was like,
yeah, that's dope.
There's
No,
more
I
fish in the sea.
yeah.
and you know what?
Go
I
fishing,
didn't
bitches.
get to see her.
Oh yeah, you left.
I was already in the car. I was waiting for everyone, and all of a sudden I see her driving with him, and you just see me get out of the car, and I started screaming like,
Serious?
yes! And then I got yelled at because they were like, "You're ruining a scene." And I was like, "That's my girl. She got picked."
That's dope. That's dope.
Oh my gosh.
Producers
We're like
you
in-
wasted our
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Get out the shot.
I had to redo it.
I
Yeah.
literally jumped out of the car, and I was like trying
That's
to stop
hilarious.
it.
Do you
so
think,
cute.
Ariana, that when it did come to the time where it's Cam, it's you, and it's Alexis, and obviously he's giving his speech, Cam is, and he decides to give it to Alexis. He knows that you've moved on, even though he does say that he does love you and care for you, but he decides to give it. And I feel like obviously, girl, she was crying she was crying from the first credits. I was like, will you stop crying? Like he's like, hey, how you doing? And she started crying. I was like,
she didn't have anybody
I was
else.
like,
She
yeah, I
was
know,
emotional
but
as fuck.
it was but I was like, every single scene you see tears in her. I look at you guys are eating like hot dogs, and she's like, "Ee," like I'm like,
That
Alexis,
was me,
stop crying.
though.
Maybe she
You know?
like I cry a lot
feel
too.
it.
It was emotional.
sensitive.
It was just she was just crying a lot.
Our boy
But-
Billy. Our boy Billy.
I be crying all day.
She
But-
going through right now. You don't know.
I want to ask. Okay. It was a lot. It was a lot. But let me ask my question. Do you think that obviously he knew that she was going to accept the necklace because she was crying the whole day. But
Just in general.
do you think that he gave it to her because she wanted it, or or that he really wanted to give it to her?
I think he gave. Well, he said. I talked to him like afterwards.
Sure.
And he said he wasn't originally going to give it to himself.
He should have.
And then he thought
That
about
would've
it,
worked.
and he was like, she deserves to she deserves this in a way. I think not just like having to ride in that car alone after that situation. That would suck. Especially after everything she went through with him through the
Right.
show. He just felt like she deserved that after everything she had done and been there for him, if that makes sense.
See, I would have wanted him to give it to himself and then figure the situation out when y'all got home.
Yeah,
think that would've been the best- the best situation.
And then spoken about it at the reunion.
Yeah.
I would have given
Where
him
you-
a
where-
round of applause
where are y'all
if
now?
he would have given it
Yeah.
to himself.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
was like, at the end of the day, like, you've been like ride or die throughout this situation, even though I've like treated you terribly, and you deserve this crushed necklace. And he was like, basically like, I should give it to myself because I need to work on me.
And maybe
But-
we could all believe
But
me.
I think he's gotten better since the show. I think he has.
Word. Okay. I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that there was real, like, he cares for her, so I think he did it for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that. The last thruple that we saw was Coffey, Aubrey, and of course Mark. How did you
situation.
How did you guys feel about the ending of that? Did you feel like did you expect that to happen?
I didn't expect Mark to be like, wow, she really had feelings for me. Because this whole time he's like, she's fraud.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel any way towards me. Which I'm like, how could you not tell that this woman has feelings
He
for
still
you?
says that.
I know he's still claiming it, which it's like,
he went around the whole house like saying, it's fake. She doesn't feel
Yeah.
this way. And we're like,
But then
she
this
literally
episode,
had
Sex with you.
she literally had to go away for like 2 days because she was so bothered.
yeah.
And it's like, dude.
And so it's
The
like,
fuck?
now this episode we see him being like, wow, she really does like me. And
It was
you
one of those things
know-
where like what we see, and then all of a
Wait.
sudden like, where did this come from at the end? That was like, anticlimactic because I thought it was going to be a whole situation like I'm not giving it to nobody, and because
they didn't give it to themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I think you gave it to
Right.
No,
Yeah, no.
and I loved that ending. I mean, that was the perfect.
Well, I was kind of hoping she would give it to Coffey, but I felt like it's smart she didn't give it Coffey because it would give her the wrong
Exactly.
And I like what she said because she said
Like, I
you
can't give it to
deserve
you.
like basically you need 300% and I can't give it to you.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna give it to you. And I think Coffey respected that as well.
Yeah.
Even though it sucks to not be chosen or what have
Yeah,
you.
because they're still very close.
Sure.
very close.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on how you felt. Did you expect it to go a different way, being in the house, kind of seeing
Their
it all play out?
relationship?
Yeah, just how
We
it ended.
definitely thought they were going to leave together until the last week, and then
Just
Really?
because I literally,
crazy.
when I was just by myself, I was third wheeling with every single couple. I was like, well, I'm just gonna hang out with you guys, and I third wheeled with them the most. They were literally mom and dad to me, and it just like a switch, and I was so confused. And I said, and I had conversation with Mark. And it just always was, I miss Elena. I wish she came back. I don't think Aubrey's being real with her feelings. And then I said, then why don't you have a conversation about it instead of just going around the house saying she doesn't feel like this.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be an interesting reunion because we saw the
because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't even know what
and the people in
happened.
the chat were asking like, why weren't you guys all sitting together?
Yeah, we asked the
We
same question.
asked. We were like,
It just
there were
all
so
asked
many
the
things
same
that would have
questions.
been said. I feel like
Probably.
and
They
there
would
would
have
have
had
been
it
more
filmed for 2
exposed.
days.
I feel like they could have hired the extra Bad Girls Club security.
Maybe it was
and
the
have them
host
on
they had.
deck.
You know, the host, they was on The
Like-
Bachelor. So
Oh, is
they
that
probably
right?
was like, we don't want no fight.
Well, you see a pillow being thrown.
Just saying.
Interesting.
Maybe the host were like, we do not want any fights to mess up our brand.
mess up the
No,
situation.
they were actually really. I loved them.
I mean, they're a great couple, but
Yeah.
I don't think they should have
Yeah.
hosted that reunion.
You just have to watch.
You have to
You
watch. They were good.
Yeah.
They were good together.
Team. They're a good team.
Ashley with some little sass.
She
in
has a little
there.
shade.
She
Yeah.
likes a
We
little
have to
shade.
see
Just
it.
a little sprinkle.
Not
see,
see it to
we'll
believe.
Sprinkle of
That
shade.
was. I was
I
just
need to
like.
see
If she
Shade
likes
sprinkles.
you, if she doesn't, if she
Yeah.
don't like you, she throw a little shade at you.
Okay.
Well, we gonna
Well,
see,
we'll see.
girl.
We'll
She was
see.
off
We'll
script a
see.
little bit.
And it's going to be just one episode, you said, right?
I think so.
Okay.
We don't know.
Well, they didn't show snippets of everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. There might
It could be like
a
a
part two.
to be continued
Type
that we
thing.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Because there was a lot that happened. And there
can
was a
A
imagine.
lot
lot that still
Well-
happened.
there's a lot
after.
that has happened
Right.
on air.
Ooh,
off
I'm excited.
air.
I'm excited
Yeah.
to see kind of where
We
everything.
haven't even checked Twitter yet.
I know, right?
You know,
I
See
know,
where
probably
it is.
someone's probably attacking me right now. I don't
Right.
even
Oh,
know.
I know, Marie. Her fans, yeah.
Oh, God.
Might be.
Trying.
Yeah.
We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been our episode tonight. Shout out to our guests, Shannon and Ariana, for being here. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, man, season's over. We got the reunion.
Thank
Oh my God, yeah.
So tune in next week because it's going to go down and we could actually get all of the tea
Right.
and know everything that's going on.
I didn't want to
Yeah, you
come
should
Spill it.
today.
Yeah,
have
yeah,
just
exactly.
come now.
I don't
mean,
want to come today.
Maybe
I
you
wanna-
come back. Maybe
no.
we'll have. Oh,
Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding.
Well, fine
No,
then.
I'm so kidding.
Maybe we'll do a
Shannon.
redo of the reunion since we couldn't all be together.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Maybe all the LA people can come next week.
Oh, there we go. Oh, then we have
Imagine.
a serious.
Do we need security?
Oh,
Nah, we're chill.
You good?
West Coast people.
West Coast people are good. Okay, there it is. Yeah, we do some good reunions. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
We-
you're
so
like-
I
we do some
heard.
good.
I heard
Yeah,
y'all
we
got
do.
wild.
We gets
No
down.
edits.
We gets down.
It's all out there.
We gets down. We gets down. I've been your host, Lim Gonzalez, and you can find me everywhere at Lim Gonzalez. Also, check out my website, stayonthemic.com for updates. Sensei, where you at?
You already know, at Sinse Don't Play. That's SINSE Don't Play.
Yeah, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Linaire on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can catch me weekly on Tayo News.
Yeah. Ariana, where can the fans find you?
Instagram and Twitter.
Queen.
Instagram and Twitter, Ariana_Nova.
Yes. Shannon, where you at?
Instagram, Shannon May Duffy with an E in the middle, not a Y, and then Shannon May on Twitter.
Boom.
go.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, make sure you tune in next week for the reunion. It's going down. Shannon said everybody's going to be here. She said it, so it's going to
I
happen.
know.
Boom.
I had to connect
There-
with some people. I got blocked.
She's driving a van. She's bringing everybody here. It's going down. Stay tuned. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.